We spend our lives trying to wrestle the universe into submission. It is an exhausting, chaotic scramble just to get exactly what we want, under the assumption that getting it will finally bring us peace. Instead, we fall into the trap of hedonic adaptation. You get the promotion, buy the new car, find the right relationship. But quickly, the thrill fades into the background. The extraordinary becomes your mundane new normal, and the exhausting cycle starts all over again. As the psychiatrist Viktor Frankl observed, meaning doesn't spontaneously appear from our external conditions. We have to actively create it, but we rarely do that. We survive the uncertainty of life by building an illusion of control. We live inside a fragile, mirrored bubble, intensely focused on our own daily affairs, and completely blind to the vast, unpredictable reality moving around us. But reality always shatters the glass. Sometimes we break it ourselves with poor choices. Other times, an illness, a loss, or an economic downturn crashes right into us, exposing us to the terrifying void outside. When that happens, you have three options. You can crash blindly into reality, you can let reality crush you, or you can proactively choose to participate in it, riding the wave instead of fighting the ocean. If your sense of well-being requires keeping that fragile bubble perfectly intact, you will spend your entire life as a hostage to a chaotic universe. Escaping that trap requires a practice called inner focus. It begins by isolating your actual identity. To do that, you have to answer one foundational question. Who are you? Try to answer, and you'll likely list external markers: your occupation, your social status, your bank account, maybe a few personality traits or the immediate problems you're facing. These labels form your ego. They describe you, but they are not the actual stream of consciousness looking out through your eyes. When you conceptually strip these markers away, you separate your true identity from the temporary conditions of your life. The renowned psychologist William James noted the profound shift that happens when we finally sense something beyond this manufactured identity. We find a feeling of inner security that one can only experience but never forget. You have to pry your identity away from your external circumstances. Until you do, you cannot find a joy capable of surviving an unpredictable world. Once you silence the outside world, you are immediately confronted by the inside. A turbulent, overwhelming noise of passing thoughts, anxieties, and random memories. To cut through this, use a mechanical override. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 7, and exhale for 8. This specific breathing rhythm forces your autonomic nervous system to slow down, breaking the cognitive loop. Once your breathing is steady, sit quietly and ask yourself a direct question. What is my next thought? And then simply wait for it. Notice what happens in that exact second. There is a tiny physical gap where absolutely nothing occurs. The brain pauses before it supplies the next idea. This quiet gap is what some call the sacred center. Because your thoughts have paused, the memories of your past and the weight of what others expect from you aren't present in this moment. It is a neutral, quiet space within your own mind. If you hold your attention in that empty space, you will find a tiny spark hidden inside it, a seed of quiet, persistent joy. When you strip away every external label and quiet every internal thought, this spark is the only thing that remains. It exists independently of whatever is happening out there in the world. Finding this internal spark does not grant you a permanent state of euphoric bliss. You will still experience grief, frustration, and hardship. As the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche asked, "Is life not 100 times too short for us to stifle ourselves?" We have to embrace the entirety of reality, enduring the struggle without closing ourselves off to the wonder. To maintain this connection, you need a daily protocol. Using inner focus to breathe, pause, and check in with that internal spark regularly is what keeps your perspective grounded. Over time, this consistency shifts how you relate to the world. Happiness stops being a frantic pursuit and begins to emerge as a byproduct of your self-awareness. When you aren't blinded by the mental noise, you start making choices that are more aligned with reality. You finally get to let go of the impossible demand to control everything. You no longer have to cling so tightly to the rails of a sinking ship. You realize that your internal resources are, as Ralph Waldo Emerson suggested, vast, undiscovered treasures, just waiting for your own idle hands to mine them. By continually nurturing this independent seed of joy, you build a sanctuary within yourself. The universe will keep spinning, and the chaos will continue, but no matter what happens, you remain whole.